The new year is coming, and this is our time to talk about how your personal finances go. I have not talked about much about your personal finances and how to deal with it in this channel. Most of my talks in recent days have been talks on subjects which I have been interested. Because I don't get much views here, so I don't have to play to the gallery, and it is my decision what I want to speak on because I run this channel for the pure joy of doing it. Today, I want to talk to you as the new year is looming on three things that you must do so that you become financially independent. These are three sacrifices that one has to make for you to be financially free. First, let me tell you what was the past. If you have some rare photographs like I do of your great grandparents, then you will notice that life has become progressively better for each generation till it reached my father's generation. In my father's generation, it was possible to go to a job, work your life through in a company, and at the end of it, you retire. You got retirement benefits and you could retire comfortably. Like many of my friends' fathers went to government public sector banks or public sector units, they worked their tails off, and when they retired, they were given assured pensions. Those who worked in private sector were not so lucky because there was no assured pensions, but at least they managed to build a house, they had some PF and they had some savings. But today in my generation, as we prepare to retire, we find things are bit worse. In my generation and the generation coming just behind me, it is very clear that most of us have changed jobs several times in our life. In my case, I never worked anywhere, but I had to change my profession several times, at least 4 times in a career that has lasted nearly 33 years. In 33 years, I have changed my career at least 3 or 4 times. But in case of most of my friends, what has happened is that they could not stick in a particular company, not because of their choice, but because of forcing circumstances. 1991 was a watershed year in Indian economics. And what we knew before and what happened after completely changed the life. My generation came to work in 1991. It was a changing order. So, gone out of the window was clear, defined jobs which could last for a lifetime. You had to change 3 or 4 jobs. I had a friend who worked in Godrej and Boys, but before his generation, if you joined Godrej and Boys, you retired in Godrej and Boys. But this friend of mine transferred into himself into 4 jobs, and in the fourth job, he is in IBM. He is now in 53 and he is not ready to retire. He has a housing loan. He has got his son studying abroad, with whom he has to finance. He has got his daughter married, who is working separately, and still he is plugging away his home loan. And he is going to retire in another 5 6 years, and I am sure he will not have a pension. And also, greater health benefits have meant that you live longer. The average upper class Indian lives today up to 80 years. You have to live at least 25 years after you retire, and you have to fund it without depending on your children. There are no social safety nets in India, and there is no money for us at the end of the